Welcome to the Longbox Paradox, episode 22, and this week some of my curated picks. We're going to start with, from DC, the Batman and the Outsiders, which ended up supposed to come out a couple months ago, but I guess it got pushed back for reasons, and it was resolicited and came out this month. Bryan Hill, who I loved his detective run, is writing, and then Dexter Soy on art. Most of this issue is kind of getting into the mentality of the team. It starts out with the Signal and Orphan, and they're on an operation. Orphan saying they should wait for Black Lightning. Signal seems to not respect Black Lightning that much. We have Katana in the group. Black Lightning, of course. And the team dynamic is kind of bad, where we have Black Lightning and Katana operating kind of how they operate, and the Batman group of Orphan and Signal kind of doing their own thing and not functioning as a team. So there is friction within the team. We also meet Sophia Ramos and her dad at the beginning. They're having discussion, and a character comes out and slams into their car, kills her father, and then he throws her off of a bridge, and she hits a fuel truck and explodes it. We later find out, when Batman, Bruce Wayne, comes in, that she was experimented on and her mother by something called the ARC Project that gave her powers. There is a great scene in here where Bryan Hill's dialogue, I think, is at its best, where Bruce Wayne is meeting with Jefferson Pierce, and they're discussing the team, and Jefferson's like, Tattoo's gonna kill somebody, there's problems with your people, they don't trust me, I don't trust you. It was an A+ for the dialogue. Also, Jefferson goes and meets with Tatsu, Katana, and she's focusing on her sword, trying to talk to her husband. And her and Jefferson kind of have a weird sword fight. Just little things with the team dynamic, which you don't really get in other books very much. I kind of dug, and they all kind of have problems with each other. From there, we cut to Sophia. She's kind of on the run, hiding, and she is kind of apprehended by this character we find at the end called Caliber, and Ra's al Ghul has sent people to kill her, or at least take her. I'd give this book for first issue a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Dexter Soy's art was on point. Storytelling was very good. Bryan Hill is an incredibly talented writer. I very much dug what he's doing with this book. I would have loved this out earlier, but hey, things happen. Another solid Bat book outside of, as I've said before, I can't read the Tom King Batman, so at least I have another book that I can read and enjoy and get my Batman fix. And also, I had mentioned in a couple of episodes trying to figure out which issue is going to be the reveal of the Arkham Knight. Detective Comics 1003 came out, and the Arkham Knight had a full reveal at the end, and it is a character we've never met before. So this is the first appearance of the character I'm not going to name because I don't want to spoil the surprise of who it is. It is no one you know, so it's a brand new character. So it's probably worth a pickup. The Mark Brooks variant is the one I got. It was an interesting reveal because I never saw it coming, so to that end, great reveal, because you find out who they are, and it's like, oh, well, I have no idea who the hell they are. So anyway, that's your spec pick, I guess, for this week. And then moving on, Image Comics I got two to review. Deadly Class number 38. Marcus and Maria return to King's Dominion. The most interesting thing this issue, which I'll just say this is a setup issue. It's basically what their relationships are in the school now that they've returned. Marcus is loved and feared now because he's the first rat to ever pass the test. Shabnam and his crew of flunkies are not happy, as you'd expect. Some other groups that were with Marcus and Maria don't want anything to do with them. There is a great conversation between Marcus, Maria, and Master Lin. That conversation with him, I forget how many pages it was. It sets the tone for what is to come and what has happened. So it's kind of almost like a rehash point of this is what happened, this is where we're going. I give this is an 8 out of 10 for me. I'm a stan for this series and Remender to start with. So with that being said, though, there are some issues that are better than others, and while not a lot happened in this issue, this one for me was just fantastic with resetting relationships. And of course, like, I can't imagine another artist on this book other than Wes Craig, because his art style just fits the way the storytelling is for this book. I continue to be impressed. If you haven't watched the show, please do so, because it's one of the best adaptations of a comic that I've actually seen on the small screen. Also, Brandon Thomas and Khary Randolph put out a book called Excellence. Issue 1 came out. This is kind of not so much world building, but character building in this. It starts with the character Spencer when he's born, who's going to be our main protagonist. And as he's getting, like, the world, his father is a magician in an order of magicians. And the boy Spencer at the beginning, he has no propensity for magic. The father's upset because he's disappointed that he's not showing the magic lineage of the family might end. Eventually, something clicks in Spencer, and he gets it. And all of the issue leads up to his trials and tribulations leading up to the test to indoctrinate him into the order. Pretty fascinating book. I'm going to keep up with it because I want to see more about this world. The first issue sets up a little bit of the world, but not a whole lot. It's the mere succinct. Khary Randolph's art, it works for the story that's given. It's a little hit and miss in some scenes. He has a very distinctive art style, though, so you know immediately when you open the book who's doing the art. I'm going to give this a 6, only because what it gives you leaves you wanting more, but it's a lot of show, don't tell. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's, for me, I wanted a little bit more out of the book, but it is a good first issue. Give it a try. It's something new. It's something a little bit different. Weirdly, I can't think of a book to really compare it to recommend or give you an idea of what it is. Again, first issue, it's worth giving a try. And then Marvel Comics this week released The War of the Realms. This is one of the few crossover books I picked up. New Agents of Atlas. This book introduces, I guess, what's going to be a new Asian super team. So you'll have Cindy Moon, Silk. I forget what Amadeus Cho, what he's calling himself now. It's like Braun or something like that. It's the totally awesome Hulk in his new form. Jimmy Woo, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., uh, White Fox, who was from, you know her mostly from Domino's Hot Shots if you're reading it. I'm not sure where she appeared before. They also introduced a new character called Arrow. There was an Asian Marvel character. There's a K-pop star that's also a superhero. They do a lot of like building to this team. The team hasn't even formed by the time the first issue ends. Believe this is Arrow's first appearance, and then there's a new character who's going to be introduced. I don't remember if he was introduced in this issue because there's a lot of characters they threw called Swordmaster. I have a feeling this issue is going to be one of those ones that in a year or two is going to be worth quite a bit, especially get the cover that has the whole team on the front because that'll be considered the first cover appearance, and spec-wise that makes a difference. Worth picking up. There's some interesting dialogue in it. Again, I think this is going to be a spec-heavy book, but a lot happens in this book, but at the same time, not a lot happens to drag you in. I'm going to give it a 6, but I have a feeling this is going to end up being hot eventually, and I don't know what the orders were on it yet. I'm not sure how shops are ordering this book at all. I know they were previews, they were hammering 2 new characters are appearing, and you know it was bold print telling you as like a trigger, like, oh, you might want to order this. I wish I could say a lot more about it. I know this is going to be big in some way at some point. That's all I know. It just throws a lot of characters and a lot of stuff at you real fast trying to run to get this team formed. And honestly, to its own detriment, I feel. This whole War of the Realms thing is just, it's too much. It's way too much. Way too many spin-offs, way too many side books. Marvel's whole flood the market approach at its finest. Also, this week, I totally missed it when I was doing my .5 preview, but Marvel's Annotated number 3 comes out, and there is a variant by Gabriel Dell'Otto, or Dell'Otto. It's Galactus and the Silver Surfer. I'm going to go on a limb and say this is Dell'Otto's best work. It is beautiful. It is one of the best covers I've seen by him or in general. It is just beauty incarnate. Pick it up. If you see it on the shelf, it's going to stand out to you. I mean, already Marvel's was a fantastic series and book, but then you throw in this cover, and I don't think I've seen Galactus ever done this fantastically, and it's his head and his eye kind of looking at Silver Surfer flying by. I'm posting the picture in this video. It's great. Will it have any kind of value? No idea. I just know great covers tend to disappear fast, and they tend to be sought after, and I can see this one being one. And if you're a CGC grader, go ahead and slab this. It is just a beaut, and it's going to look great. If I could buy a litho of it today, I totally would. I would have that hanging up in my living room. So with that, I'm going to finish this up. Happy hunting on your Wednesday at the shops and post. And thank you for coming and watching with me, spending your time. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and take care.